Hi everyone, I'm KJ Montgomery. I'm chatting with Andreas Lundström, a name that will ring a bell if you've ever heard of Nordic Skalds or Sweden Rolls. Let's get started. You are a busy and talented individual. You create music. You are the GM for the podcast Sweden Rolls. You give us the world of Windheim through Nordic Skalds. How do you manage your time so that you get things done?
Well, when it comes to managing my time, that is a puzzle indeed. I have been working a lot for a very long time. I managed to get by with a day job for a long while, and then now that Nordic Skalds has really kicked off the way it has, I've actually taken a leave of absence for a year to work solely with soundtracks for role-playing games, Sweden Rolls, Nordic Skalds, and also some live music projects that I have been doing for a while. I have been working too much for too long, and I felt I needed to cut down a little. And then actually the day job was the one I felt I had to really cut down on.
Windheim has been a vision of yours for quite some time. According to the Kickstarter page, it says that you started working on this world and this campaign over 20 years ago. So walk me through how it felt to carry a dream for so long and then see it finally happen.
Windheim was created as a world for my home group, my home game, yes. But already from the start, I had a vision of using it professionally somehow, sometime in the future. I started a project with a computer programmer. We were in early stages of developing some kind of computer game based, placed in Windheim, but that fell through. And after that, there were some other small ideas I had. I used it in my first ever podcasts, Tärningen är kastad, the die is cast, in Swedish. We used Windheim and actually my father's sword, an upcoming RPG from Nordic Skalds, to play an adventure in. So I've been carrying this dream for 20 years and just waiting for the right moment, I would say. And when Dragonbane came with a third-party license, I just felt very strongly that this moment has come. Now is the time. And I immediately started gathering people around me, an illustrator, a guy doing maps and graphic design, Robert Alm, the illustrator, and Christian Lindqvist, who is the map maker and layout graphic design guy, to start something here. And then when Windheim kicked off as well as it did, we just decided we need to do more stuff, and we also had a lot of fun working together. So we realized we want to do more than just a Windheim book, and that's where we came up with the idea of creating Nordic Skalds. But it really is a dream come true. It's exhilarating, but it's also at the same time more of a phew, it's done, finally, feeling that I have inside me.
I can imagine. Well done to you and the entire creative team for getting it out there and making it available for all of us to enjoy playing. Alright, so let's say you go back in time and tell a younger version of yourself something encouraging from today. How young is this version of you, and what do you tell him?
Well, the young version of me loved to hang out at the Medieval Week down in Visby. The younger me loved folk music, traditional music, and the younger me definitely loved role-playing games. It was my passion, for sure, my biggest passion. And if I would tell my younger self that, you know what, it'll take a while, but when you're in your mid-40s, you will actually be working with role-playing games and you will play regularly at a Viking bar/restaurant in Stockholm, I don't know, I think my younger self would just like, can we skip forward please? Can we please skip forward? Can we please go to fast forward 20 years? And what I would tell him is, yeah, keep on doing what you do. Keep on meeting new people, getting new experiences. Keep on playing with people who are a lot better than you musically. Develop your skill set, hone your tools, and yeah, work hard and good things will come to you. That's what I would say.
If our younger selves only knew the good to come, right? We could maybe manage getting through those rougher days a little bit easier. Just for fun, describe Traces of Darkness, Horn of the Dawn, Part 1 of Windheim in 10 words or less.
Okay, 10 words. This is a bit more difficult since I'm not writing, but an epic adventure of betrayal, political intrigue, and world saving. I think that was less than 10.
Yeah, it was. I like that description. Nicely done. Anyone who reads the credits of Horn of Dawn or The Windheim Companion, which should be everyone, will see it's so packed with talent. How did you round up such a great ensemble of creative folks for this?
Well, I have been quite busy these past few years due to my podcasts, interviewing a lot of big shots in mainly Swedish RPG business, but also in some international ones. And I think I've developed an online friendship, and of course with people in Sweden, and an actual friendship with some of the big names in role-playing, in the role-playing game business. And I think also one way we managed to get so many big names is that the adventure seats are very, very short. It does not take a lot of work for an experienced writer to write 200 words. It doesn't take a lot of time or effort, and people are generally very happy to help out a friend.
Do you have any future creations that you can give us any teasers or hints about?
Yes, future creations. We have a Kickstarter out for My Father's Sword, a standalone RPG game, packed with nostalgia, and it's a pick up and play game where you focus on the humor, not the seriousness of role-playing game. It's a comedy role-playing game, you could almost describe it as, where you are supposed to really lean into heavily the cliches of your youth when you started playing role-playing games. So please ask your local game store if they have it. If not, they can contact Nordic Skalds and get it. We of course are also working on Horn of the Dawn Part 2, as yet unnamed, of course, and that one will come around summertime of 2025. It's still a bit too early to talk about our other projects, but we do have a publishing plan, a publishing schedule for all of 2025 and most of 2026 as well, actually. So yeah, you're just gonna have to follow Nordic Skalds on Facebook, or yeah, that's basically where you can find us to get news on what projects we have. We will come with news on a project we're kickstarting in early 2025, very, very shortly. We just need some things in place before we can start creating hype for that.
Okay, so how did you discover role-playing games?
Well, I was always interested in them. I'd seen some books, I'd heard some friends when I was around 11 maybe, who played RPGs, and I asked if I could join their group. They were playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, and they were like, "No, you will never understand this. You can't join us because you won't get it." So I was I was disappointed, and I got a few RPG books of my own. Sadly, none of them were a basic rule set, so I because I didn't understand what a role-playing game actually was. So when I bought Barbarian's Handbook for AD&D, I didn't understand anything. I just liked to browse the pictures, and I completely loved them. I also bought a Swedish game called Mutant, but I bought Mutant 2, which was actually just a supplement, an extension of Mutant, so I didn't have the base game, so there was no explanation like what is a role-playing game, how do you play a role-playing game in the box, because they just assumed that you knew what it was, because you needed the main box, the Mutant 1, to play it. So I just looked at the pages of, you know, weapon lists and illustrations of cool mutated animals, and was just enthralled by this world that I was shut out from. But then when I started around what Americans would call high school, gymnasiet is what we would call it in Swedish. When I started gymnasiet, I met a friend. Out of pure luck, ended up in the same class as a guy who had an RPG group, and he was very inviting and invited me to join a session, and it was love at first sight. I just loved it, and I was so happy that I could finally play an RPG. And we were playing Dragonbane, or Drakar och Demoner, at that time. This was in '94 when I finally, after 6 years of longing, finally found a group to join.
I think everybody should find a group to play with. If you can't find a group, make a group. All right, final question. When you are not producing or creating, Andreas, what might we find you doing to relax?
When I really want to relax, I draw up a scorching hot bath, and I put on some music on a Bluetooth speaker in my bathroom, and I pour myself a glass of wine or a glass of good whiskey, and I listen to music, Lorena McKennitt or Leonard Cohen or Ennio Morricone, and I just sit in the bath for an hour, just breathing and listening to music. If I would have had more time than I actually do, I would probably also be playing Baldur's Gate 3 solo. As it is now, I don't dare to start a solo campaign, because if I know I will get hooked, I'll get hooked, and then I'll not work for a long time. So yeah, if I have my kids, half, like every other week. I have my kids 7 days, and then they're with their moms, and I do play Baldur's Gate 3 with them.
Andreas, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and letting me interview you for this Creator Spotlight. I really enjoyed getting to know more about you and your projects, as I'm sure everyone listening did as well.
Thank you so much.
This has been KJ Montgomery with Andreas Lundström. You can find Nordic Skalds and Sweden Rolls on Facebook. You can also learn more at swedenrolls.com. May the dice be ever in your favor. Thanks again, everyone, for listening.